Hey Danimals, kind of a gloomy weather day today. Really not all that bad, but chance of rain all day, had a little bit of wind this morning, and it's kind of overcast. I got a real relaxed inclement weather policy, so if guests don't feel comfortable with the weather, there's no charge to opt out at any time. So our 10 o'clock trip canceled, our 5 o'clock trip canceled, and then our 1 o'clock trip moved to 5 o'clock. So it left me with a big hole in the opening of my scheduling this morning. Not to fear, slept in. I know y'all are worried about that. And then I decided to do some maintenance on the boat. It's about 10 hours out from doing an oil change on my boat, 100-hour service. So I figured I'd go ahead and knock that out, and here's how we did it. Step one is gathering the materials, getting all the tools and supplies down to the boat, starting up the engine and letting the engine oil warm up. That helps it drain out a lot more quickly. Tools of the trade all assembled there on the back deck of the boat. And don't let your friends panic. 5,059 hours on this boat here. So I always like to put the hours on the oil filter when I'm changing the oil, in case I forget to log it in my log. I've got the date and the hours of the engine on it there. It's nice for a quick reference if you forget to write it down. 5,059, May 10th. So I use a battery-operated drill, well, not a drill pump, but a pump there to pump the oil out of the dipstick tube. Quick and easy to do it when the boat's in the water. Saves them about an hour from pulling the boat, and launching it, loading it again. And then I always like to clean out the throttle body. Lift off that there, spray some carb cleaner and wipe that down with a rag, which you'll see that in a minute. Sometimes they'll stall if that thing gets stuck with some gunked up kind of carbon deposits. And I always pull this thing too. It's a filter for the telltale, and it junks up with grass and all kinds of stuff from where I run into shallow water all the time. So this is the filter for the telltale, all gummed up with seaweed and eelgrass. So when your telltale's not pumping real hard on this style of Mercury, it could be just because this thing's all jammed up. Your water pump could be perfectly fine, and it's just this thing that needs a cleaning. So we pick all that stuff out, try to get it cleaned up. Then I usually take it off by the hose or a bucket to kind of rinse it out and get it all cleaned up. All clean and shiny. My big boat, I think I'm running without that little cage on it there, which I don't think it's a big deal. My mechanic says to keep it in there. Says if Mercury didn't want it in there, they wouldn't put it in there. So all finished pumping the oil, near about. And then now it's time to swap the filter out. So I take my pump, and when I undo the filter, I use the pump to catch any of the oil that's fallen out of the filter. They've got a little catch can there, catch bucket, keep the oil from running down. And the other thing I like to do is mark my gallons. So that's gonna be 5.5 quarts ready to dump. And in she goes, glug, glug, glug. And a test run. Fires right up. She's pumping, she's turning. Nothing seems to be blowing around the filter. I think we've done a good job on this one. I did get my tools out to pull the prop and check for fishing line, but the tide was so far out, I couldn't get my little floating dock around to the back of the boat. So I'll have to pull the wheel next time I do a big service. Hopefully I've got no line back there. Thanks for watching, guys. That's what I did today.